Hello everyone, welcome to my brand new Let's Play series of Mass Effect. I'm Colonel RPG and I'm very happy to have you here with me as I play this game for the first time in many years. I have played it back when it came out. I think I finished it twice, both times as a Paragon, and this time around we're gonna play as a Renegade. Now this game is probably, I would say, one of the most influential RPGs of the modern age. Basically, I think this game by itself is responsible for BioWare being considered a world-class developer. Because honestly, I think before that, even games like Dragon Age, which I believe is better than Mass Effect, I think Dragon Age Origins is the best of all the games, of all the BioWare games that I've played. Dragon Age Origins is the best. I didn't play Mass Effect 3, and I didn't play Jedi Empire or the second and the third Dragon Age. So I'm missing a few, but I'll get there. And I do intend on playing through this game, obviously. I complete all my Let's Plays, so this is obviously the Let's Play, a complete Let's Play. But I do intend to play Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. And of course, Mass Effect 3 will be a blind playthrough. Now this one, I don't remember things very well, but having finished it twice, and it being a relatively recent game, all things considered, I think 2007 or 2009, I believe 2007. I still remember some things, but it's been many years, so I'm sure I'll have a different attitude than what I had when I played it for the first time, and I will ramble, because I ramble about all the things, although I tend not to ramble too much about games that are actually polished and very curated and stuff like that, although I do ramble about that as well. Anyway, let's start a new career.
Welcome to Alliance Military Database. Classified information requested. Establishing secure connection. Secure connection confirmed.
John Shepard. That's him. And we enter a new ID. Due to your covert N7 status, ID records are incomplete. Please confirm identity from the records below or register manually. I always register manually because we have quick starts. We're gonna play custom.
Please log in to access your profile.
Custom female, and the name doesn't matter. They all call us Shepard, so I'm just gonna go ahead and call her Ari, in memory of secondary character from Baldur's Gate 2. Anyway. It's downloading. Old school games, you know. Takes forever.
Warning, data corruption detected. Please reconstruct profile.
Well.
Confirm pre-service history.
So very much in line of Knights of the Old Republic. I honestly think that Knights of the Old Republic, when played after you play Mass Effect, you can see so many aspects of Mass Effect already in Knights of the Old Republic, and also other things. I think the biggest, what this game achieved the best in comparison to Knights of the Old Republic, besides having a slightly more well thought out setting, honestly. This game having a better, well thought out setting. I think what this game really does is ditching all the Dungeons and Dragons rule set heritage that BioWare just lived through or lived with up until this game. Basically, every game they made was one way or another connected to Dungeons and Dragons, even not necessarily licensed like Knights of the Old Republic isn't. I don't think it still uses similar rule sets, and this game is just made for a computer, or made for the Xbox 360, actually, one of the launch titles, I believe. So we have a spacer. Both of your parents were in the Alliance military. Your childhood was spent on ships and stations as they transferred from posting to posting, never staying in one location for more than a few years. Following in your parents' footsteps, you enlisted at the age of 18. We have a colonist. You were born and raised in Mindoir, I don't know. Anyway, a small border colony in the Attican Traverse. When you were 16, slavers raided Mindoir, slaughtering your family and friends. You were saved by a passing Alliance patrol, and you enlisted with the military a few years later. I think this is our class, but honestly, this doesn't say anything about what we do. This is just a maybe it isn't our class. No, it isn't. I think it's like our background. You are an orphan, of course. All orphans. Let's go with the one that is not an orphan, probably. You were an orphan raised on the streets on the great megatropolis. That's one way of phrasing it. Covering Earth. You escaped the life of petty crime and underworld gangs by enlisting with the Alliance military when you turned 18. So let's go with the first one. We're a spacer because that's cooler.
Confirm psychological profile.
We have Soul Survivor, War Hero, or Ruthless. During your service, a mission you were on went horribly wrong. That sounds like a good time. The War Hero is early in your military career. You found yourself facing an overwhelming enemy force. And then the third one is Ruthless. Throughout your military career, you have held fast to one basic rule. Get the job done. That sounds... Actually, you know what? We're gonna be Renegade, so let's go with that. You have been called cold, calculating, and brutal. Your reputation for ruthless efficiency makes your fellow soldiers wary of you. But when failure is not an option, the military always goes to you first.
Confirm military specialization.
And that... See, I was under the impression that it was classes, and KOTOR only has, well, 3 classes at the beginning. And you have all these classes. Look at these. We got Soldier, Engineer, Adept, Infiltrator, Sentinel, and Vanguard. Now... I want to go with this like a space pirate thingy. So, Adept is biotic specialists. Destroy enemies, disable shields. That's an interesting thing. Let's see, Engineer, Omni-Tool. They can decrypt security systems, repair and modify technical equipment, disrupt enemy weapons or shields, and heal their squad. Honestly, that sounds like a good time. Engineer. Vanguard are biotic warriors. They combine biotics and weapons to take down opponents and are especially deadly at short ranges. And Sentinels here combine biotic and tech abilities. Typically, they use biotic abilities and advanced healing skills to defend allies, though they can disrupt opponents with biotic and tech attacks. And there's other things. Infiltrator, either Engineer or Infiltrator. Let's see. Infiltrators combine combat and tech abilities to... I'm looking at the Omni tools. That's probably a good idea. Let's go with the Infiltrator.
Confirm facial identification.
Yes.
Profile reconstruction complete.
That is me. Yes.
Identification confirmed.
So, combat difficulty, honestly, let's just go with the higher difficulties, because the game is not very, very difficult. So, auto level off, level up off, obviously, because duh. Target assist, sure, normal is good. Can I actually make it lower? Yes, I can. Nah, it doesn't matter. Squad power usage, active, please, always, because I can't look after you. Ooh, look at that. It's a beacon or something. That thing is very important. It's always a loading screen, I think.
Well, what about Shepard? She's a spacer, lived aboard starships most of her life.
Military service runs in the family. Both her parents were in the Navy.
She got most of her unit killed on Torfin.
She gets the job done, no matter what the cost.
Is that the kind of person we want protecting the galaxy?
That's the only kind of person who can protect the galaxy.
I'll make the call.
In the year 2148, explorers on Mars discovered the remains of an ancient spacefaring civilization. In the decades that followed, these mysterious artifacts revealed startling new technologies, enabling travel to further stars. The basis of this incredible technology was a force that controlled the very fabric of space and time. They called it the greatest discovery in human history, the Mass Effect. That's such a great introduction to the setting, because it teaches you what the name of the game is, but also... we're in freaking space! And it's all cool and stuff.
Arcturus Prime relays in range. Initiating transmission sequence.
Commander?
We are connected. Calculating transit mass and destination. The relay is hot. Acquiring approach vector. All stations secure for transit. The board is green. Approach run has begun.
Thrusters, check. Navigation, check. Internal emissions sync engaged. All systems online. Drift, just under 1500K.
1500 is good. Your captain will be pleased.
I hate that guy.
Nihilus gave you a compliment. So you hate him.
You remember to zip up your jumpsuit on the way out of the bathroom? That's good. I just jumped us halfway across the galaxy and hit a target the size of a pinhead. So that's incredible. Besides, Spectres are trouble. I don't like having them on board. Call me paranoid.
You're paranoid. The Council helped fund this project. They have a right to send someone to keep an eye on their investment.
Yeah, that is the official story. But only an idiot believes the official story.
I believe that's Karth from Knights of the Old Republic playing, not Joker, the other one. And Joker is the, I forget the name of the actor. I know how dialogues, it's fine. I forget the name of the actor, but he's like the typical, the typical first decade of the millennium trope of having somebody on the ear of your movie star or of your game developer. Lara Croft had one of these, one of these Jokers herself in, I think it was Tomb Raider Legend or something like that. It might have been the same voice actor. They all look the same. But Joker, I remember him distinctly, though. He's a very important, like all these people are very important parts of our whole adventure. This is a very character-centric story, and that's what BioWare does, and I think that's what they do best, honestly. So we have the dialogue wheel, which was this whole big important thing, but it was important because the marketing, really. This doesn't really have any advantages besides looking cool, and even then, I suppose. It's like this game is very influential because of all the things, and I think this is definitely one of them, honestly. And the way our characters talk, you see that in The Witcher. The influences of this game are felt throughout the whole industry. I feel Fallout 4 is basically a ripoff of Mass Effect, a bad ripoff, a really really bad ripoff. But anyway, we're not going to talk about Fallout 4 because otherwise I'm not going to shut up.
They don't send Spectres on shakedown runs.
So there's more going on here than the captain's letting on.
Joker, status report.
Just cleared the mass relay, Captain. Stealth systems engaged. Everything looks solid.
Good. Find a comm buoy and link us into the network. I want mission reports relayed back to Alliance Brass before we reach Eden Prime.
Aye, aye, Captain. Better brace yourself, sir. I think Nihilus is headed your way.
He's already here, Lieutenant. Tell Commander Shepard to meet me in the comm room for a debriefing.
You get that, Commander?
Great. You pissed the captain off and now I'm gonna pay for it.
Don't blame me. The captain's always in a bad mood.
Only when he's talking to you, Joker.
Oh boy, these folks. So press O to access the codex. Oh, the codex is like a wealth of. This is really important actually in this game. Massive in Dragon Age as well, but there's so much information over here. We got tutorials that I don't like, and we got personal history over here. Born into a naval family, yes. And after several, yeah, that's what we wrote, right? Nearly 3/4 of your own squad perished in the vicious close quarters fighting. A cost you were willing to pay to make sure not a single slaver made it out of Torfan alive. And over here, humanity and the Systems Alliance. This is pretty important, isn't it? Let's just skim through it. You can read if you want to. So a 2069 Armstrong outpost at Shackleton Crater becomes the first human settlement on Luna. It is that our moon? Is that where it is? Let's see if I can find the mass relay. Was it? They called it. Was it a mass relay? Did I say the name wrong? I think I said the name wrong. Anyway, a shipping accident in Singapore International Spaceport exposes downwind communities to containers of... Oh, this is going badly. Systems Alliance occupies completed portions of Octoro's station as a headquarters. When did they find that? Because this is it's not an alternate universe. It's like the future of Earth. Oh, there it is. Humans learned potentials of biotics. No. Embassy on Citadel. That's where they found the Citadel, though. When did they find the Citadel? That's very important. We're gonna learn about the Citadel for sure. Oh, we were born in 2154. Almost 30 years in the past. Yeah, so this is all extrasolar worlds. Translation of protean data leads humans to the Charon mass relay. Systems Alliance founded to coordinate exploration and colonization of extrasolar worlds. So that's in 2149, which was less than 40 years ago. A shipping accident to Singapore, that was after. And then there's a bunch of probably political ramifications from that. Batarian slavers... Wait, that's important. Batarian slavers attacked the Alliance colony in Mindoar. Oh, that's our own story, I think. Maybe. Anyway, we're gonna learn about... Oh, we don't have primary? No, we do. We just need to go out. We're gonna learn about...
1,200 years ago, the Turians were invited to join the Citadel Council to fulfill the role of galactic peacekeepers. The Turians have the largest fleet in Citadel space, and they make up the single largest portion of the Council's military forces. As their territory and influence has spread, the Turians have come to rely on the Solarians for military intelligence and the Asari for diplomacy. Despite a somewhat colonial attitude towards the rest of the galaxy, the ruling hierarchy understands they would lose more than they would gain if the other two races were ever removed. Turians come from an autocratic society that values discipline and possesses a strong sense of personal and collective honor. There is lingering animosity between Turians and humans over the First Contact War of 2157, which is known as the Relay 314 incident to the Turians. Officially, however, the two species are allies, and they enjoy civil, if cool, diplomatic relations.
What, you want to keep it cool? That's fine. Also, I like the slightly... despite somewhat colonial attitude. That's one way of phrasing it.
The Systems Alliance is an independent supranational government representing the interests of humanity as a whole. The Alliance is responsible for the governance and defense of all extrasolar colonies and stations. The Alliance grew out of the various national space programs as a matter of practicality. Sol's planets had been explored and exploited through piecemeal national efforts. The expense of colonizing entire new solar systems could not be met by any one country. With humans knowing that alien contact was inevitable, there was enough political will to jointly fund an international effort. Still, the Alliance was often disregarded by those on Earth until the First Contact War. While the national governments dithered and bickered over who should lead the effort to liberate Shanxi, the Alliance fleet struck decisively. Post-war public approval gave the Alliance the credibility to establish its own parliament and become the galactic face of humanity.
I think the writing in this is so good for what this is supposed to be, because it's so difficult for you to answer all the possible questions of like, but what, how could this happen, or how did they fight and all this sort of stuff, how do they bicker, and how does that translate into the Alliance being created and all this sort of stuff, and growing specifically. But you can leave it vague enough. Like, the detail is really cool, but then you can leave it vague enough that you don't really have to. So mark all entries as red. Nice. That you don't need to create plot holes, basically, in the society you're growing out of, because it's real world Earth and all that sort of stuff. Yes, I know how to play video games. Thank you, game. That's why I don't read tutorials. Joker. I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong key. Let's try not to kill the dude.
You probably don't want to keep the captain waiting, Commander.
Okay. Right. Can I not? See, tutorials are good. Bring the no, not tutorials. This is all I need, really. That's how I grew up playing video games. First thing you look at is the controls thing, and I didn't do that for this Let's Play. Mostly because I've been struggling with technical issues all afternoon. But anyway, so what we're looking for is a holster thing. Although interact might be... Oh, draw holster. Q, of course. Why wouldn't I?
You probably don't want to keep the captain waiting, Commander.
Thanks. Can I walk? Oh, I can sprint.
I just saw him. He marched by like he was on a mission.
He's a Spectre. They're always on a mission.
And we're... Congratulations, Commander. Looks like we had a smooth run. You heading down to see the captain?
Sounds like you don't trust our Turian guest.
Sorry, Commander, just having a chat with Adams down at engineering. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. But you have to admit, something's odd about this mission. The whole crew feels it.
You think the Alliance brass is holding out on us?
If all we're supposed to do is test out the stealth system, why is Captain Anderson in charge? And then there's Nihilus. Spectres are elite operatives, top covert agents. Why send a Spectre, a Turian Spectre, on a shakedown run? It doesn't add up.
What do you know about the stealth systems?
I just know it masks our location from scans and sensors. Cutting-edge technology. The Normandy's the only ship with this prototype drive. But why are we fully staffed? A skeleton crew would be cheaper, less chance of security leaks too. Plus there's Nihilus. It's pretty obvious this shakedown run is just a cover.
Interesting setup.
For what?
Damned if I know, Commander. We're out here on false pretenses. I'm not a fan of being left in the dark.
Do you have a problem with the captain?
No, ma'am. But I can't figure out what he's doing here. Captain Anderson is one of the most decorated Special Forces officers in the service. If he melted down all his medals, he could make a life-size statue of himself. You don't send a soldier like that on a do-nothing mission. He's treating this shakedown run too seriously. Something big is going on.
You don't trust Nihilus?
I don't like Turians in general. It runs in my family. My grandfather fought in the First Contact War. Lost a lot of friends when the Turians hit us.
Nihilus is no ordinary Turian.
You've got that right, Commander. We're an Alliance vessel, human military, but Nihilus doesn't answer to the captain like the rest of us. Spectres operate outside the normal chain of command. And they don't come along just to observe shakedown runs. Nihilus looks like he's expecting some heavy action. I don't like it.
Info's on a need-to-know basis, Presley. Just follow the orders you're given.
Understood, Commander.
We got a codex entry. What was that? You telling me off for being rude to the peoples? Please do, because I want to see how that works. So we got, the light lag. Ooh, what is that? Starship sensors. Light lag prevents sensing in real time at great distances. A ship firing its thrusters at the Charon relays can be easily detected from Earth. 5.75 light hours, which is a long time away. But Earth will only see the event 5 hours in... Due to the light speed limit, defenders can't see enemies coming until they have already arrived. Because there is FTL travel, that's faster than light, by the way, and communications, but no FTL sensors, frigates are crucial for scouting and picket duties. I think that is also another staple of this setting, is that it really tries to make all of its, all of its technology in that makes sense, basically, which is really cool. Like, all the FTL travel exists, but for communications, there's another explanation. It's a different explanation. It's pretty cool.
Humanity's first contact with an alien race occurred in 2157. At that time, the Alliance allowed survey fleets to activate any dormant mass relays discovered, a practice considered dangerous and irresponsible by Council-aligned races. When a Turian patrol discovered a human fleet attempting to activate a relay, they attacked. One human vessel survived, retreating to the colony of Shanxi. The Turians followed, quickly defeating the local forces. Shanxi was occupied, the first and to date only human world to be conquered by an alien species. The Turians believed the handful of ships they defeated represented the bulk of human defenses, so they were unprepared when the Second Fleet, under Admiral Castany Drescher, launched a strong counteroffensive, evicting them from Shanxi. The Turians mobilized for full-scale war, drawing the attention of the rest of the galaxy. The Council quickly intervened, forcing a truce. Fortunately for humanity, the First Contact War was ended with a diplomatic solution.
That's really cool. It also sets up the whole dynamic, racial tensions between us and the Turian right now here. I want to see the timeline though, because I want to see when the... So that is the Turians encounter human explorers, First Contact War, that's specifically that. But the Citadel, or the Council, they specifically mentioned the Council there. And I wanted to see if I could just skim through all of this instead of just reading it. But I might have to read it. Let's go with it. Armstrong Outpost at Shackleton Crater becomes the first human settlement on Luna. It's formally founded in July the 24th, on the 100th anniversary of the first lunar landing. There you go. Oh, was it 24th? I thought it was 21st. Anyway, I don't know anything, obviously. And that was on 2069, yes. And then 40 years later, Lowell City in Eos Chasma becomes the first human settlement on Mars. And then Eldfell Ashland Energy Corporation demonstrates helium-3 fuel. Oh yeah, the helium-3 is a very popular. I think it is disproved to be feasible, but it is a very popular science fiction way of just having a lot of nuclear fission to create energy. One of my favorite movies deals specifically with this thing. It's called Moon, the movie, and it's amazing. Anyway, fuel extraction from the atmosphere of Saturn. Construction of Gagarin Station. Oh, I think this is important because I remember that name. Anyway, Jump Zero begins. Oh, the construction begins beyond the orbit of Pluto. Prospectors discover the Protean ruins at Promethei. That's the plurals of Prometheus. Planum on Mars. And then translation of the Protean leads to the Karen mass relay. But I really wanted to see about the Council. A shipping accident at Singapore International Spaceport exposes downwind communities to containers of dust form element 0. Alliance begins to construct constructions of Arcturus Station. What is that element 0, though? I think that we're going to learn about that later. Roughly 30% of the children born in Singapore after element 0 exposure suffer from cancerous growths. Systems Alliance begins settlement of Earth's first extrasolar colony world, the planet Demeter. And we were born. Systems Alliance occupies completed portions of Arcturus Station as a headquarters. Some children of Singapore exhibit minor telekinetic abilities, and this is the explanation of the magic that we have in this setting, and the special abilities and all that sort of stuff. And the Turians over here encounter human explorers' first contact. Humans learn potential of biotics 2 years after the telekinetic abilities. An international effort to track element 0 exposures begins. Roughly 10% of exposed children show some level of biotic abilities or ability. Systems Alliance Parliament formed. Humans established embassy on Citadel. So yeah, there it is. The Citadel is already known, but they don't talk about the us finding it.
I grew up on Eden Prime, Doc. It's not the kind of place Spectres visit. There's something Nihilus isn't telling us about this mission.
That's crazy. The captain's in charge here. He wouldn't take orders from a Spectre.
Not his choice, Doc. Spectres don't answer to anyone. They can do whatever they want. Kill anyone who gets in their way.
Oh, you watch too many spy vids, Jenkins.
What do you think, Commander? We won't be staying on Eden Prime too long, will we? I'm itching for some real action.
I sincerely hope you're kidding, Corporal. Your real action usually ends with me patching up crew members in the infirmary.
Marines are meant to fight. You just fix us up and we're done.
I know how things work, Commander. I've seen my share of combat, but it's foolish to go looking for trouble. You could both take a lesson from the captain. He's not afraid of combat, but he knows the value of restraint, too.
Sorry, Doc, but this waiting's killing me. I've never been on a mission like this before, not one with a Spectre on board.
What do you know about the Spectres?
Only what I've heard. Spectre agents work directly for the Citadel Council. They usually work alone or in small groups. Spectres don't have any official power, though. Basically, they're a shadow organization with a mandate to preserve and protect galactic stability.
Protect it at any cost. Don't forget that part. Spectres operate above the law.
Why don't we have any of our own people in there?
Spectres usually come from the Council races, like the Turians. We've been trying to get a human accepted into their ranks for years now. So far, it hasn't happened.
Hey, Commander, you'd make a good Spectre. What you did on Torfin, that's what they're looking for. Success at any cost, ruthless efficiency, show no mercy.
Sounds like my kind of job.
This is all just wild speculation. The Spectres aren't interested in recruiting humans, no matter how capable.
How do you control agents with unlimited power?
I suppose the Council could revoke the Spectre status of an agent who got out of hand. At that point, Citadel Security Services would take over.
Those C-Sec grunts wouldn't stand a chance. The Spectres were 20 ordinary soldiers. The Spectres police themselves. An agent goes rogue, they send another agent to take him down. That's Spectre justice.
The Corporal's confusing romantic legends with reality, Commander.
I was gonna say, it doesn't sound like that's how it would work. It's like, oh, we have our most badass soldiers over here, but then if we want one of them to not be a badass soldier anymore, we send this other group of soldiers, which we are not gonna talk about how badass they are, but you'd have to expect them to be more badass than the badass soldiers that we were talking about, right? Because that's how it works. Only, you know, if it's more badass, then it takes the other badass. I mean, right?
What can you tell me about Nihilus?
Turians are generally well respected by the other species. Their fleet has more patrols protecting Citadel space than any other. They don't always get on well with us, though. Some people find them too rigid. Others still blame them for the First Contact War. As for Nihilus, I haven't said more than 2 words to him. He usually only speaks to the captain.
I heard Nihilus once took down an entire enemy platoon all by himself. Man, I can't believe I'm on a mission with an actual Spectre.
Do your job, follow my orders, and there won't be any problems.
Easy for you to say. You proved yourself on Torfin. Everybody knows what you can do. This is my big chance. I need to show the brass what I can do.
I really like... And it's really good when you start, like, an RPG and your character already has a backstory that inspires respect on somebody at least. Maybe definitely not on everybody we're gonna meet, but sure on some people, because you know we're the protagonist. Of course we're badass right from the start a little bit. We can just it's good. It's the good.
You're young, Corporal. You have a long career ahead of you. Don't do something stupid to mess it up.
Don't worry, ma'am. I'm not gonna screw this up.
You're from Eden Prime, aren't you, Jenkins? What's it like?
It's very peaceful, Commander. They've been real careful with development, so you don't have any city noise or pollution. My parents lived on the outskirts of the colony. At night, I used to climb this big hill and stare across the fields back at the lights from the main settlement. It was gorgeous. But when I got older, I realized it was a little too calm and quiet for me. That's why I joined the Alliance. Even Paradise gets boring after a while.
Any idea why Eden Prime was chosen as our destination?
Not really sure, Commander. Eden Prime's one of our most stable colonies. Good place to take the Normandy for a shakedown run, I guess. No real danger there. There's gotta be something else going on. We've got a Spectre on board. That's why I'm so wound up. I can't wait for the real mission to start.
The captain's waiting for me.
Goodbye, Commander.
Of course. Oh, Renegade +2, that's what I'm talking about. What do we have over here? Only the commanding officer may specify a destination for the Normandy. For sure. But there's more people over here. Hi. No talk? Okay. Oh, it's Presley. Presley, I talked to you already. Right. Or Presley. Whatever. Excuse me. Hi. That's right. Oh, no, that's a talk. Is it over this way? I think it is. That's Nihilus. He's pretty important. You probably know his face if you've seen any screenshots from this game. Although they all kind of look the same. I realize that's probably racist of me to say.
I was hoping you'd get here first. It will give us a chance to talk.
You know, it's just us humans are not socialized to notice all the differences in their face. It's not like our faces all look the same as well. It's just we notice differences, the minute differences in the size of the nose or the alignment of the eyes, and probably there's more obvious changes in these guys' faces than there are in humans. It's just, you know, that's how it goes with faces and face recognition.
The captain said he'd meet me here.
He's on his way. I'm interested in this world we're going to. Eden Prime. I've heard it's quite beautiful.
I'm a Marine, not some tourist on vacation.
It's more than just a tourist destination, isn't it, Shepard? Eden Prime is a symbol of your people. A perfect little world on the edges of your territory. Proof that humanity can not only establish colonies across the galaxy, but also protect them. But how safe is it really?
Are you trying to scare me, Spectre?
Your people are still newcomers, Shepard. The galaxy can be a very dangerous place. Is the Alliance truly ready for this?
I think it's about time we told the commander what's really going on.
This mission is far more than a simple shakedown run.
Is someone gonna fill me in, Captain?
We're making a covert pickup on Eden Prime. That's why we needed the stealth systems operational.
I don't like being kept in the dark, Captain.
This comes down from the top, Commander. Information strictly on a need-to-know basis. A research team on Eden Prime unearthed some kind of beacon during an excavation. It was Prothean.
I thought the Protheans vanished 50,000 years ago.
Their legacy still remains. The mass relays, the Citadel, our ship drives. It's all based on Prothean technology.
This is big, Shepard. The last time humanity made a discovery like this, it jumped our technology forward 200 years. But Eden Prime doesn't have the facilities to handle something like this. We need to bring the beacon back to the Citadel for proper study.
Obviously, this goes beyond mere human interests, Commander. This discovery could affect every species in Council space.
What an interesting thing here. That the Citadel's taking over this. I mean, it would make sense, but still.
Why didn't we keep the beacon for ourselves?
You humans don't have the best reputation. Some species see you as selfish, too unpredictable, too independent, even dangerous.
Sharing that beacon will improve relations with the Council. Plus, we need their scientific expertise. They know more about the Protheans than we do.
The beacon's not the only reason I'm here, Shepard.
Nihilus wants to see you in action, Commander. He's here to evaluate you.
Since when do we answer to the Spectres?
You're smart enough to know how things work, Commander. The Alliance has been pushing for this for a long time. Humanity wants a larger role in shaping interstellar policy. We want more say with the Citadel Council. The Spectres represent the Council's power and authority. If they accept a human into their ranks, it shows how far the Alliance has come.
I was impressed when I studied the reports from Torfin. A grim business, but you got the job done. That's why I put your name forward as a candidate for the Spectres.
Why would a Turian want a human in the Spectres?
Not all Turians resent humanity. Some of us see the potential of your species. We see what you have to offer to the rest of the galaxy, and to the Spectres. We are an elite group. It's rare to find an individual with the skills we seek. I don't care that you're human, Shepard. I only care that you can do the job.
Just tell me what I have to do.
I need to see your skills for myself, Commander. Eden Prime will be the first of several missions together.
You'll be in charge of the ground team. Secure the beacon and get it onto the ship ASAP. Nihilus will accompany you to observe the mission.
What do you know about the Protheans?
Just what they taught us in school. They were a technologically advanced species that ruled the galaxy 50,000 years ago. Then they vanished. Nobody really knows how or why, though I've heard plenty of theories. But everyone agrees, galactic civilization wouldn't exist without them.
Their citadel is the very heart of galactic society, and without their mass relays, interstellar travel would be impossible. We all owe the Protheans a great debt.
The mystery of the Protheans is actually the driving force behind the trilogy. There's 3 Mass Effects, and of course, at the time of recording, there's a Mass Effect Andromeda, which is unrelated. It's literally a spin-off. But Mass Effect 3 has an ending that I've never seen that deals specifically with what happened to the Protheans. And well, it's not quite like that, but you know, I don't want to spoil it for you, so I'm not going to give you too many details. But the Protheans, that's I remember it being like when I played this game for the first time. I remember it being like, oh, this is interesting, and thinking at the time, and this is a spoiler. But it's not a bad spoiler. But thinking at the time that, ooh, maybe we're going to learn about that in Mass Effect 1. No, we're not going to learn about that in Mass Effect 1. We're going to learn about them for sure, but just not we're not going to be given the answers. That's why there's a trilogy. And I should have known in hindsight, because this game was announced as the beginning of a trilogy. But yeah, there's also going to be Mass Effect 4, apparently. They announced it, I think. Maybe, potentially. But because it's Electronic Arts, it's going to have all microtransactions and all this sort of stuff, so yay for gambling in games. Eden Prime, please.
I'd like to know more about Eden Prime before we touch down.
It's a peaceful farming world, but it represents something much bigger. Eden Prime is one of our oldest and most successful colonies. It proved we were ready to face the challenges of settling new worlds, to forge a place for humanity beyond Earth. It symbolizes humanity's growth and evolution as a spacefaring species. And after this, it will be known as the world where humans made a discovery of galactic importance.
Hopefully so.
Why is this beacon so important?
All advanced galactic civilization is based on Prothean technology. even yours.
If we hadn't discovered those Prothean ruins buried on Mars, we'd still be stuck on Earth. That was just a small data cache. Who knows what we can learn from this beacon? What if it's a weapons archive? We can't let it fall into the wrong hands.
Like who?
The Attican Traverse isn't the most stable sector of Citadel space. There are plenty of raiders and criminal groups active in the region. They might figure a Prothean beacon is worth the risk of attacking an Alliance ship. Plus, Eden Prime is right on the border of the Terminus systems.
The Attican Traverse is under Citadel protection. If the Terminus systems attack, it's an act of war.
Technically, yes. But some of the species in the Terminus might be willing to start a war over this.
The last thing the Council wants is to get dragged into a major conflict with the Terminus systems. We have to keep this low-key.
Let's do that. Next episode, though. For right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Mass Effect 1. It has been Mass Effect 1. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.